Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want you to go ahead and just kind of like ground yourself into your seat. So if you're sitting in a chair like I am, I'm going to put both of my feet on the floor. I'm going to bring my shoulders back and down. Make sure my head is in alignment with my neck, not like sticking out. And really just give my lungs room to breathe. So what I want you to do, if you're comfortable, you can take your hand, put it on your chest and one on your belly, both hands on the belly, or just rest your hands in your lap. And we're just going to take some deep breaths. And what we're going for here is for the chest to move. That means we're doing some real good diaphragmatic breathing using our diaphragm. We do a lot of shallow breathing throughout the day. And by doing this deeper breathing, making our chest move, rise, and fall up and down, we're going to start stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system, which basically tells our brain and body to chill out, which we need. We're living through a global pandemic. It's important. So go ahead and find a place. You can put your hands, like I said, on your belly, on your chest, whatever works for you. Now let's go ahead and let all the air out, like let it out. Awesome. And when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Hold at the top and release. You can release the nose if you want. If you want to release through the mouth, that's okay. But put a little bit of resistance there, like. All right, let's do that again together. Breathing in and exhale. Now this time, start paying attention to the rising and falling of the chest. Breathing in and release. 2 more of these. Breathing in and release. And maybe just 1 more of these. Breathing in. Sending air all the way to the bottom. Deep, 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 deep. And release. Slow, slow, slow. Beautiful. Go ahead and take 2 fingers, put them at the corner of your mouth, slide them down, press gently in on the neck, and find your pulse. I'll give you a moment to find it. If you need to, you can use your pulse on your wrist. You're going to press right about here. I find it harder to find my pulse there, but just find what works for you. If this is easier, great. If this is easier, great. And once you've found your pulse, we're just going to watch it for 30 seconds. I want you to, we're going to do a little brain game here. You're going to give your brain a job. You're going to say, hey, brain, for 30 seconds, just focus on that. That's it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just for 30 seconds, focus on your pulse. So you found it. I'm going to get my stopwatch, and I'll let you know when it's been 30 seconds. There we go. Can't even find my stopwatch. All right, here we go. Found the pulse, and just watch the pulse starting now. And time. Beautiful. Why do we do that? Well, listening to a heartbeat is actually a very calming thing for us. When we were in our mother's wombs, that was what we heard, was a heartbeat, her heartbeat the whole time. And it makes us feel much safer when we hear that. It doesn't have to be somebody else's. Even just the sound of your own heartbeat can be kind of a calming and soothing thing. Some people, it may not be their favorite, but even so, the other aspect of that activity is to give our brains a job. And so we did, we gave our brains a job, and that helps to quiet the mind from the chatter that goes on in the background all the time. We've got our brains going 100 miles an hour, always, always, always. And when we give our brains a job, it kind of like zeroes in on that one thing and starts to calm us down. So The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some movement. Okay, so if you are in a space where you can find a little bit of area to stand, that'll be good. We're not going to do a ton of actual moving around. We're going to be kind of standing in one little spot, but we'll be moving around that little spot. So I'm going to back up where you can see me. I'm also going to shut this door. Cool. Let me make sure I've got my order of stuff here handy so I can know what I'm doing. Because my brain, I just can't remember stuff these days. All right, perfect. So you're going to go ahead and find your mountain pose. What this means is your feet are directly below your hips. Your shoulders are in line with your hips, so everything's kind of stacked. Feet are hip width apart, directly below the hips. Hips are nice and neutral. Shoulders are in line with it. And you can bring your palms to face outwards if you want. This is a very active pose. It kind of feels like you're just standing there, except here's another thing you can do. Pressing down into all four corners of the feet. You can be able to lift up your toes, but make sure that the bottoms of your feet are nice and rooted. Active arms turned outwards with the palms out. You can even activate the back of the legs and the glute muscles. Also engage the core, the head directly in line with the neck. Shoulder blades wrapped around the back. This is going to feel a little strange for a lot of us because we are used to standing poorly with horrible posture. Here we go in our mountain pose. Now we're standing in strong, active posture. You're not in tension, so don't be like tensed up, just active, alert, awake. Beautiful. Next thing we're going to do, float the hands, palms together to the heart. And what's going to happen is we're going to breathe in through the nose, just like we did at the beginning. When we're holding the breath, we shoot the hands up and then we release and float the hands down. This is called volcano breath. I want you to imagine right now before we start a volcano in your mind. Just a volcano that you've seen on TV, in a picture, in a book, doesn't matter. Picture a volcano and picture all of the latent power that is resting in an active volcano. It may not have erupted, but you know for a fact that it has that power and that potential. This is a lot like us. We have a lot of untapped power and potential within us. And for a lot of us, we don't use our power. We kind of just let it sit there. Imagine that we are volcanoes. And by erupting, not in a negative way, we are positively sending out our power into the universe by affecting people with our talents, with our gifts, with our intelligence, by being ourselves. That's how we can send out and activate that power within us, the power of the volcano. So if you're following a metaphor, great. If you're not, we're just going to do this movement. So go ahead, breathe in, rooting down through the feet. Shoot the hands up as you hold your breath and release. Bring those arms down as you exhale. Beautiful. A few more of those. Breathing in, shoot the hands up and release. 2 more of these. Breathing in, shoot the hands up. Imagine that volcano, powerful and beautiful. Hands back to prayer center. Breathing in, shoot the hands up. And bringing it out. Then you can just return to your mountain pose and stay there. A volcano is a powerful thing because it can create new islands. It's not always destructive. It can be something, especially these in the ocean, that forms new places to live. Think about your potential that way, that you can actually be a creator of good things by putting out your power into the world. So that's what we're going for. Now, let me show you one of my favorite ones. Sometimes we get a little too much going on. We get some built up anxiety, built up anger inside ourselves, especially these days. We can get really caught up. I know for me, my fuse is so short. Somebody says something or does something and I don't like it, bam, I lash out at them. And I don't like it. I'm not proud of that. I'm only telling you guys that because I want you to know where I'm at. And it's not good. There's nothing wrong with being mad. That's a normal and natural emotion. But we cannot let it cause us to lash out at people. There's a saying I like that says, okay to be mad, it's not okay to be bad. And that's basically what it means. It's like, it's okay to be mad. Anger is normal and natural, but the choices we make because of that anger could be a good thing or a bad thing. So Let me show you one that I use to help channel some of that anger in a positive way. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna take your feet nice and wide, put a little bend in the knee. And what we're gonna do is we're going to reach up and grab an imaginary axe. And what's gonna happen is, this is called wood chopper. We're gonna breathe in. And when we exhale, we're gonna exhale all the air out really fast. And we're gonna bring down this imaginary axe onto, just picture this log, this giant trunk of a tree. Maybe this trunk of this tree represents something that's really been bothering you, or a situation that you just hate. Like, I'm gonna put global pandemic carved into the trunk of this tree, and I'm just gonna go at it because it is so frustrating and fatiguing and exhausting to live through this right now. And I wish it was just done. So that's where I'm going to channel my angst. You need to think about, where are you going to channel it? What is the thing that's bothering you? It doesn't have to be a person necessarily. Please don't envision harming anyone. But you could think about a situation like a conflict, or school, or a particular assignment that's really giving you an issue. Just kind of picture it in front of you on that trunk. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and breathe in, bringing the hands up. You've got that imaginary axe, bending in the knees generously. We're going to breathe in and let the air out. There you go. Now let me tell you another variation I like. Breathing in, bringing it up. Instead of blowing on the air out, you can go instead. So we're waiting for a second. If you didn't take a deep breath, or you need to take another one, go ahead and do that right now. And nice. Do it and mean it. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, mean it. It's not going to matter. It's not going to do anything. You've got to really let that anger out into the motion. This is different. It's like there's peaceful, calm yoga, and then there's stuff like this where it's a release. And sometimes we don't need to be soothed. We need the release. Here's the release. So breathe in. Let's do 2 more of these. 1, 2, 3. Last one. Make it count. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Awesome. Kind of got me going. I like that one a lot. Cool. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to come back into our mountain pose. Let's bring our hands back to center, palms together. Take a nice reorienting breath here. Because for me, that kind of made my heart rate go up, which is good. Again, sometimes we don't need to chill out all the time. We need a release. Awesome. Flip the hands down to your side. What we're going to do now, you can have feet together or apart like mine. Go ahead and start rocking all around the edges of your feet. This is called roots, this little activity. When you imagine you're a tree in a storm and you're bending with the wind, but you are rooted down. You're not gonna fall over. Now, if you notice, I had to step out for a second because I got a little crazy with my circling, and that's okay. Just step back. Circling one direction, nice big circle. Now circle the other direction. Change it up. Beautiful. Whoa. That feels weird to circle the other direction. And back the original direction. Nice big circles here. Feet are rooted down. And make that circle a little bit smaller. Make those circles just a little bit smaller. And teeny tiny circles here. Circles so small, I can't even see you move. And while we're sitting here, ask yourself, what am I circling around in my life? What have I not quite landed on? What am I not so sure about? And now, in perfect stillness, find your center. Awesome. Breathing in, arms straight up ahead. You can pull one wrist or have your fingers interlaced or have your fingers detached. Again, there's lots of options here. I'm going to pull my right wrist as I lean to the left. Nice, beautiful side stretch here. Now, no collapsed shoulders. Lift the heart. Nice and tall, nice long body here. Crescent bend, or making like a crescent shape, like a crescent moon. Watch the breath. Beautiful. Come back to center. Maybe get some Blood back in those arms, and same thing other side, lifting whatever you did with your hands before, opposite this time. So I pulled on my right wrist, now I'm pulling on my left wrist as I pull to the right. Maybe you're keeping your arms apart, maybe you have yours interlaced. Doesn't matter, lift the heart, wrap the shoulder blade back around your back. Again, no collapsed shoulders here. It's gonna feel more intense, but it's a better way of doing the stretch. I can feel so tight right now because I've just not done anything physical all day. And so my muscles are really cold, if you know what I mean, like they're not warmed up. But this helps. Come back to center, float the hands down. I want you to divide your weight evenly between your feet and start now to shift your weight over to your left leg. Gently lift up the right leg. We're gonna stay here for a second. My knee is lifted. I've got all my weight on my left leg. If you're feeling a little unstable, you can use the wall or a chair to help you. I'm just gonna play with this for a second. Now I'm gonna send my foot back and away, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab the top of my right foot. Lifting up my left arm for modified dancer pose. This is a beautiful quad stretch here. Stretching out the quad. So again, if you're like me and you've been sitting down all day, this is a great one for waking up the leg muscles. If you need to see me from the side, this is what I look like. So you can see what I'm doing. Ooh, getting a little wobbly. That's okay. Stare at something across the room, find your focal point. Awesome. Beautiful. Slowly come out with control. And maybe shake out the left leg. Beautiful. Coming back into your mountain pose. Weight evenly distributed, wiggle those toes. And now start to shift the weight over to your right foot. Lift up the left knee. Maybe we stay here for a second. Maybe point and flex the toes. Do little toe circles. Whatever feels good to you. Send that left foot back. Grab the top of the left foot. Extend the right arm out. And hold. Find your focal point. And stare at it. That will help you balance. And again, feel free to use furniture or the wall if you need it. If you feel ambitious, you can start to dip down a little bit. Maybe I have a little too much. Awesome. Go ahead and lower that foot. Shake the right one out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sling the arms around. You're going to smack yourself. Maybe you're smacking yourself in your glutes, and that's okay. It's a really good nervous system activity. Slinging the arms around, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up, slow it down, even slower, coming back to center. Beautiful. Go ahead and have a seat. We're almost done with this part. What I want you to do now is go ahead and lifting the heart, looking back behind you, placing your right hand on the outside of your left knee. You're going to start to push yourself into a twist. So I've got one hand on my knee. The other hand, you can use the back of your chair. You're going to look over that left shoulder like someone's sitting in the desk behind you and they just told you something really good, some really good hot gossip. And so you're like, whoa, what? That's what we're doing. Nothing like hot goss, except for not really, don't even be talking about people. It's not nice. This is positive gossip. Somebody saying something really nice about somebody and you're super interested. So here we go. Breathe into the stretch. Slowly coming out. Beautiful. Same thing other side. I'm going to take my left arm, put it on the outside of my right knee, lifting the heart. Again, no collapsing. Lifting the heart, returning. We're looking back behind our right shoulder. Again, somebody's got something really good to share. And it's some good news. Maybe it's about you, something really good. They're saying, hey, I heard this about you. Is it true? And you're like, heck yeah, it is, because I'm the boss. And you're listening, and you're breathing, and slowly coming out. Now, I'm going to do a 1-minute meditation. And what I want you to do is you can cross your arms and lay down if you're on a desk. If you're not, you can just put head in the hands. If you're not comfortable with that, you can have your eyes open and just softly gaze downwards, okay? But make sure that you're sitting in a place where you can really focus on using your imagination for this next part, okay? Again, I'm going to give you 1 minute. And what I want you to think about is your perfect vacation spot. If you could go anywhere in the world right now, doesn't matter if you've been there yet or not, where would you go? What would you eat? What would you do? Who would you be with? Maybe you're with no one, but let's spend 1 minute imagining our perfect vacation, starting now. Go ahead, and if your eyes were closed, you can open them. You can come back into this space. If you had your head down, you can lift it, maybe flutter the eyes, maybe shake yourself awake. And I would love if you're here in the chat, you can tell me what your perfect vacation was. You don't have to if you're watching this later. It's all good. You could tell me in the direct messages or just, think about it on your own, and that's okay. I actually realized something really cool about myself, that I didn't really care where I went, but I have 2 friends in mind that I would love to go on vacation with. And so that occurred to me, where it's like, the perfect vacation for me is not necessarily where I go, but who I go with. And so I was really excited in my meditation about thinking about going on vacation with these people. So I need to tell them that these are good friends of ours. Me and my husband's really good friends. So I would love to go on vacation with them. So maybe you learned something cool about yourself, maybe someplace you want to go, put it on the bucket list. For sure. I think that's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording because I'm going to show a video.